What up, doe, everybody? Welcome back to Daily Upside, the sports card show where we talk about sports cards every day. I'm your host, Keenan Rivals, and got some interesting news for you guys. Some really good news. A lot of you have been in the Discord. We've been talking. Look, over the off season or whatever the bubble, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people were just like not very optimistic about sports cards, about basketball, and I get it. COVID was a big thing. A lot of the cards weren't going up when they probably should have. I just feel like the overall, sentiment of the sports cards market was down. And to me, it made sense. I tried to make sense of it in the Discord where I was talking to you guys. And, a big part of it was that a lot of the young players that were excited to see play, they weren't playing. They were first round exits. Their team didn't do that well. And the players that we did see kind of, go up, kind of ascend, we weren't really that excited about him. And LeBron James winning was just kind of expected, but I think a lot of people were looking to exit out of their positions. A lot of people over invested in sports cards. A lot of people, picked those sports cards and they probably shouldn't have. And a lot of people wanted to, either take their profits or break even or whatever the case may have been because the sentiment wasn't that high. Well, look, it's coming back, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. A lot of cards are looking good. But before we get into that, let's jump into the Athletic here. They have their new NBA mock draft, and I really like the Athletic. It's super cheap. It's like $1, a month or whatever the case may be. If you sign up for the membership, you do get access to it. And yeah, they got LaMelo going, number one overall. This draft has just been back and forth crazy. What I enjoy about this write up is that it's very detailed. If you want to learn about these players, if you want to try to invest in next season's rookie class, then this is probably a good article for you to read. But yeah, pretty standard here. We got Anthony Edwards going to Charlotte. I've always said if that happens, then I don't think that's going to bode well for him. Going to Charlotte is like just career suicide. I still haven't figured out how to say this guy's name yet, but they got him going to the Bulls. That makes me really excited. Though on other mock drafts, they have him going as like far as like 10th overall. So if he drops that low, I'm really hoping the Pistons can pick him up. But yeah, just figured I'd show you guys this in case you wanted to keep up to date with what's going on within the draft. It's a few days away. I think the draft's on Wednesday. So that's pretty intense. Outside of the draft, we did see a trade yesterday. It's not official, but the Lakers made a trade with OKC, and it can't be official until draft day. But we saw another trade today with the Detroit Pistons. They traded Bruce Brown for Zan Musa. I think I'm saying his name properly. He was drafted in, I want to say 2018-19, and he was a prospect that I was kind of looking at. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of trades happening. There's a short window between now and the season. So we're going to see a lot of movement here. So I'm really excited about that. And I think some of these trades are just going to come out of nowhere. They're going to be small trades. You're not going to know who these guys are, but they're going to make, some big impacts. Like Musa, if the Pistons make the right moves, he could actually get some play time and become a really solid player because he was projected to be so. Another pretty interesting thing that I saw was that there's a three-part episode series on Giannis, and it's pretty much like his introduction to America and to the NBA. And I don't know who recorded this or who had the brains to do this, but I'm really happy that they did because look, Giannis is really set up to be the face of the NBA. Like I know a lot of us, don't think so because he hasn't won a championship yet, but it's very rare you get a two-time MVP who also wins Defensive Player of the Year. Like the way he plays basketball is very 2K-ish. And I just really like Giannis. Like when you hear him speak, like he talks with like this zen, kind of mindset. He's just like, hey, I want to be the best, so I'm going to be the best. And a lot of players just don't say that in basketball. A lot of maybe it's an American thing, I'm not sure, but you don't kind of hear like this humble yet confident approach to basketball. And I think a lot of people are scared of like living in the limelight or owning up to what they think they are. And Giannis isn't. He's just like, look, I'm about to dominate and I'm going to crush it and I'm about to win and I'm going to win at by any means necessary. If the Bucks don't make me win, then I'm going to a winning team. And for me, that's really good to hear as an investor. Like Giannis is just talking his talk. He's backing it up. He's winning MVPs. He's dominating basketball. Does he need help in the playoffs? Sure. But he's saying he's going to figure it out. So I was looking at some Giannis cards, and I guess we can kind of get into cards. And I just noticed how down they were. If you look at Card Ladder, if you look at his Prism PSA 10 over the last 3 months, I mean, it's down 46%. It hit an all-time high of 6,500, and right now they're currently going for about 3,500. I think they're going to keep going back up. I think they're going to trend up. It's only going to take a few good games for us to remember how dominant and great Giannis is. And if the Bucks can figure out some moves where they can bring in a shooter or maybe a better point guard, then that's really going to bode well for his cards. And I saw an auction yesterday. It was two select BGS 9.5. They're both true gems 9.5s across the board, and it sold for 27.50. And these tend to go for about $900. For a true gem. So I was really shocked to see that it went $2,750. Not sure if there was any funny bidding going on there, but to me, that's an indicator that these cards are going to go back up. I mean, we've already seen some of the younger guys go back up. Luca's hitting all-time highs. His select courtside ended for 1730 for a PSA 9 yesterday. That's insane for a PSA 9, for a base card. I mean, his PSA 9 courtside is now going for more than his PSA 10 Prism. To me, this just solidifies courtside as the go-to rookie. Look, I'm looking at courtsides of previous players in the past. If your player was drafted after 2014, 15, then you should be picking up his courtside. Zach LaVine, if he has a courtside, go grab it. There's a Ben Simmons courtside silver that I'm looking at right now, and it's a little higher than previous comps, but I'm just like, I might have to grab it because these cards are going for a ton of money. And yeah, so the young players are going up. So in my opinion, I just feel like Giannis is going to follow suit, and this auction might be an indication that he already has. I did pick up a few Giannis cards in the offseason because he was part of like my long-term investment list. So I'm really happy with the one that I have, but it might be time to go in for something a little higher end. I also think his autographs are kind of undervalued. I'll talk about that more for people who are signed up for the membership. You'll get some emails on that with before the month's over because I want to dive deeper into that. But yeah, so we got Luca. He's selling for a pretty good price, and we're starting to see these young guys kind of excel. And one guy that's really taken off is Trae Young. So yesterday, his court side actually ended for a new all-time high as well, PSA 10. It sold for 1524. I remember doing a podcast episode about this card. I picked them up for $350 a piece. And I'm like, I overpaid for these, but I know they're going to do well. If you've been following this show, you know that I'll overpay for a card because I don't have time to bid and try to win. And if I see a card that I think is a gem, I'm going to accumulate it by any means necessary. And if I can, quadruple or in this case, 5x of my money, I'll pay a little bit over for the card. So yeah, I bought 5 of them for $350. And yeah, they're moving for 1524 now. And it's not a fluke. It wasn't a one-time thing. We saw Ben yesterday get hit as well for 1500. So, I still think these are a good value. I mean, if you really look at it, Trae Young's PSA 10 cards are going for Luca's PSA 9 cards. And I would say that's pretty consistent across the board. Like his Prism PSA 10 is kind of going for a similar price as Luca's PSA 9. And I think that's disrespectful to Trae Young. I really do. I'm not saying that he should be passing Luca by any means necessary, but there's no reason why Luca's select should be $6,000 and Trae Young's only coming in at 1,500. I think half the price is disrespectful. In my opinion, if Luca has a car for 5,000, I would say Trae Young's should be properly priced around 3,500. We'll give Luca the 1,500 for the international appeal, but I don't think that they're too far off. And this either he's very overvalued or Trae Young's just coming in at a steal. So yeah, that ended for 1524. We had the other select in for 1,500, and there's one on eBay now, so it's going to be exciting to see where that ends at. So yeah, let's get into some morning bins. This is the newsletter that I send out every day. If you haven't signed up for it yet, then you definitely need to. It's the only way to get access to some of the cards that I'm looking at on a daily basis. Plus, it also allows you to kind of enter into all my giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, we're actually doing one this month of Panini Black. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, definitely do so. I'll leave the link in the description as well as the show notes for you guys who are listening to this, via podcast and not watching on YouTube. Yeah, all you have to do is sign up for the newsletter. No additional cost to you. You're going to get, my daily plays as well as upside auctions, and it's going to enter you for the giveaway. So if you want to enter for that giveaway, definitely do so. Click down below, sign up. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And this is about a $500 box of cards. So we might pull a John Morant. We might pull a Zion Williamson. We might pull a Brandon Clark. I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is one of the few sets that has rookie auto patches. And yeah, if you can get it for free, why not? But yeah, so in the newsletter we talked about Trae Young, and I did an analysis on the optic. I'll leave that for the premium members. I don't want to give it all away to you guys because they're paying for it. So if you want the analysis on the optic, definitely check it out. I think it's worth it to sign up and look at this. But the card I wanted to really show you was the court side. So this one's at 15.99, and again a little overpriced. But much like I said yesterday, if you don't have one of these, you're probably not going to get one. They're really really rare, guys. Like there's I think less than 100 maybe of these produced. So yeah, when I look at the multiplier method and I see a Luca. Where's that Luca at? Let's just check on it to make sure that I'm right. So when I look at this Luca auction here, you see it's at $5,300. There's another one at 4,000. I mean, this is probably going to end around 6,000, which puts it at about a 4x from his Prism PSA 10. I think the Prism PSA 10 is going for like 1,500, give or take. So if this one ends at 6,000, that's about a 4x. So if we use the multiplier method on the Trae Young, we can kind of understand that what his Prism is going for like $600 for easy math. A 4x on that puts him at 2,400. So but here we have it here for 15.99. So this is why I think these are a value. I talk about that more in morning bins, so definitely check it out. And yeah, for you guys who are curious about the multiplier method, that's another tool that I'm bringing to you really really soon. I'm going to try to get it out by the end of the month. That way you guys can kind of have another option outside of the market cap method to kind of evaluate these cards. It's always good to have a few different tools to kind of gauge, and if they both kind of come out and confirm that it's a good buy, then that's going to be the thing you need to pull that trigger. So I think court sides are a buy. I think you should be looking at other players. I think you should be going back and looking at older players, Jamal Murray, Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram. I think those investments are going to bode well for you. And as time goes on, I really believe that courtside is going to kind of take over as that go-to rookie because it's limited. It's out of Select, which is Panini's top Chrome product in terms of just price. Maybe not resale, but in terms of price. And if you open up a Select box, it's really an experience having those 3-tier cards. I think it's just going to be a dope set, and I'm happy that we're kind of here early on it. Another option here is his SGC. I'm not sure how you guys feel about SGC. I'm not too bad on them. They're not my favorite. I actually prefer BGS just because it has they protect the cards inside of the case. I know the BGS fraud or whatever is going on right now. I'm not too worried about that. It sucks for sure, but that's just a part of sports cards. If you do some research, you can see that PSA also has the same fraud. There's people making fake cases. They've been making them for years. From what I read, PSA is trying to develop some technology to kind of separate them from the pack. I really haven't read too much about BGS doing that, but we'll kind of see what happens. But in terms of that, I'll do a separate podcast on that and kind of, or maybe a blog post and kind of help you guys to figure out how to determine what's authentic. But yeah, SGC might be another play. I mean, with all this fraud going on, who knows? Maybe SGC could emerge as a top contender. But you got this one coming in at $1,200, and it's a gem mint 10. So if you believe in SGC, you might be able to save a few $100 and get the same card in a similar condition. So that's always an option as well. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys are looking at in the comments below. Let me know if there's a certain player that you need me to cover. I'll try to do that. If you guys haven't signed up for the newsletter, definitely check it out. All you have to do is type in your email address and you're in there, and you'll get these plays to your inbox every day. That's it for this one, guys. Don't forget about the giveaway. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy investing.